Decluttering your life, the surprising path to freedom, joy, and self-discovery. Welcome to the BlackCEO Podcast, where we explore ideas that can transform your life and business. Today, we're diving into a topic that might seem mundane at first glance, but trust me, it's anything but. We're talking about decluttering, and not just your closet or garage, but your entire life. Now, I know what you're thinking. Decluttering? Really? That's your big life-changing topic? But hold on to your hats, because what I'm about to share with you isn't just about tidying up. It's about transformation, freedom, and rediscovering who you truly are. I recently had the privilege of interviewing Sylvia Holloway, the founder of Love to Organize You and a true visionary in the world of professional organizing. Sylvia isn't just helping people clean up their spaces. She's on a mission to change lives, one cluttered corner at a time. Her impact on her clients and the organizing industry as a whole is nothing short of revolutionary. She's not just tidying spaces, she's freeing minds, lifting spirits, and empowering people to live their best lives. Sylvia's core message is deceptively simple, yet profoundly powerful. Your space reflects your life. And when you declutter your space, you create room for the life you truly want. Now, let that sink in for a moment. Look around you. What does your space say about your life? Are you surrounded by possibility and potential, or are you drowning in a sea of stuff? Let me tell you, folks, after my conversation with Sylvia, I'll never look at my messy desk the same way again. And I bet you won't either after hearing what I'm about to share. First things first, decluttering isn't just about physical space. It's about emotional and mental clarity. When you declutter, you're not just getting rid of stuff, you're creating space to breathe, think, and dream. You're gaining time and the ability to focus on what truly matters. Sylvia shared a story that perfectly illustrates this point. And I have to warn you, it might hit close to home for some of you. She once worked with a woman who had been holding on to boxes of her late mother's belongings for years. Now, we're not talking about a few sentimental items here. We're talking about rooms full of stuff, gathering dust, taking up space, and weighing heavily on this woman's heart. This client felt paralyzed by guilt at the mere thought of letting go of these items. The clutter wasn't just physical. It was emotional. It represented unresolved grief, guilt, and a fear of losing connection with her mother's memory. As Sylvia worked with this client, she helped her reframe her thinking. They explored the idea that her mother's legacy wasn't in those old clothes or papers, but in the memories and love they shared. It was a process filled with tears and laughter, but by the end, something remarkable happened. The client felt lighter, not just in her home, but in her heart. She had gained clarity and freedom both in her physical space and her emotional landscape. She realized that holding on to these items wasn't honoring her mother's memory. It was holding her back from living her own life fully. Now, I want you to think about your own space. What are you holding on to that's weighing you down? Maybe it's not boxes of loved ones' belongings. Maybe it's that treadmill you bought 5 years ago with the best intentions but never used. Or that stack of unread books that makes you feel guilty every time you look at it. Or perhaps it's that closet full of clothes that don't fit anymore, both physically and metaphorically. These items aren't just taking up physical space, they're taking up mental and emotional space too. They're constant reminders of unfulfilled intentions, past versions of ourselves, or relationships that have changed. And here's the kicker. As long as we're holding on to these things, we're not making room for what we truly want in our lives. But decluttering isn't just about getting rid of stuff. It's a process of transformation. It's about facing your stuff head on, making decisions, and reclaiming your power. It's about saying, I'm in charge of my space in my life. Sylvia shared another story that perfectly illustrates this transformative process. She worked with a client who struggled immensely with making decisions about what to keep and what to discard. This client felt paralyzed by indecision, overwhelmed by the sheer volume of stuff accumulated over the years. Every item seemed to carry the weight of a life-altering decision. Does this sound familiar to anyone? I know I've stood in front of my closet, staring at a shirt I haven't worn in years, wondering if the moment I get rid of it will be the exact moment I suddenly need it. It's like we're all playing a high-stakes game of what if with our possessions. But here's what Sylvia did that was truly game-changing. She broke down the process into smaller, manageable tasks. She introduced key questions like, what are you holding on to and why? And what does your dream space feel like? These questions weren't just about the stuff. They were about uncovering the client's values, aspirations, and the life they truly wanted to live. As they worked through the clutter, item by item, something remarkable happened. The client began to gain confidence in their decision-making abilities. Each choice to keep or discard an item became an act of self-affirmation. This serves me, or this no longer fits my life, became powerful statements of identity and intention. By the end of the process, the transformation was evident not just in the client's space, but in their demeanor. They stood taller, spoke more confidently, and felt more in control of their space and, by extension, their life. Now, I want you to imagine yourself going through this process. Imagine picking up each item in your home and asking yourself, does this serve the life I want to live? Imagine the clarity that would come from making these decisions, the confidence you gain from taking control of your space. But here's the thing. Everyone's decluttering journey is unique. It's not a one-size-fits-all process. Whether you're a busy mom, an entrepreneur juggling multiple roles, or someone trying to make your home a sanctuary, your space needs to reflect your life. That means asking the right questions and creating systems that align with the life you want. Sylvia shared a fascinating example of this. She worked with a busy entrepreneur who needed to declutter their workspace to improve productivity. Now, we're not talking about a little desk organizer here. This client was juggling multiple roles and felt constantly overwhelmed by the chaos in their office. The challenge wasn't just about organizing papers and supplies. It was about creating a space that could keep up with the dynamic nature of their work. Sylvia's approach was to create a customized organizing system that fit the entrepreneur's lifestyle and needs. They didn't just clear out the clutter, they reimagined the entire workspace. They created zones for different types of work, implemented a digital filing system to reduce paper clutter, and even incorporated elements of design that inspired creativity and focus. The result? The entrepreneur was able to work more efficiently and focus on what mattered. The organized space became a tool for productivity rather than a source of stress. It wasn't just about having a tidy desk. It was about creating an environment that supported their goals and ambitions. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. That's great for them, but my situation is different. I don't have time to declutter. I don't know where to start. My whole family creates clutter, not just me. And you're right, your situation is unique, but that's exactly why this approach is so powerful. It's not about following a rigid set of rules. It's about creating a space that works for you. So, where do you start? Sylvia has some advice for that too. She encourages everyone to start small. Maybe it's tackling that junk drawer in the kitchen or finally sorting through that pile of mail on the counter. The key is to start somewhere, anywhere, and to approach the process with curiosity and compassion for yourself. Sylvia shared a mantra that I think is incredibly powerful. You deserve a space that serves you, not one that drains you. Think about that for a moment. How much energy do you lose every day just navigating through clutter? How much time do you waste looking for things you can't find? How much mental space is taken up by the guilt or anxiety associated with your messy spaces? Now, imagine flipping that script. Imagine walking into a room and feeling energized instead of drained. Imagine knowing exactly where everything is and having systems in place that make your life easier, not harder. That's the power of decluttering. It's not just about creating a pretty space. It's about creating a functional space that supports the life you want to live. But here's the thing. Decluttering isn't just about getting rid of stuff. It's about keeping what matters. It's about making intentional choices about what deserves a place in your life and your space. Sylvia encourages us to ask ourselves, does this item slash habit slash relationship serve the life I want to live? If the answer is no, then it might be time to let it go. This process of intentional decision making extends beyond just physical items. It can apply to how we spend our time, the relationships we maintain, even the thoughts we allow to occupy our minds. In this way, the principles of decluttering can become a powerful tool for overall life improvement. Sylvia also emphasizes the connection between organization and self-care. We all want to feel good, but how can we feel our best when our environment is constantly stressing us out? Creating an organized, beautiful space isn't just about aesthetics. It's a form of self-love. It's saying, I deserve to live in a space that makes me feel good. Now, I want to address something important. If you're listening to this and feeling a bit overwhelmed or even guilty about the state of your own space, Take a deep breath. Remember, this isn't about perfection. It's not about having a home that looks like it belongs in a magazine spread. It's about progress, not perfection. It's about creating a space that works for you, not against you. Sylvia's approach is all about empowerment, not judgment. She sees herself as a coach, a cheerleader, and occasionally a giver of tough love. Her goal isn't to make you feel bad about your clutter, but to help you see the potential in your space and in yourself. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a challenge. Take a look around your space right now. Choose one small area, maybe a drawer, a shelf, or even just a corner of a room. Commit to spending just 15 minutes decluttering that space. As you do, ask yourself Sylvia's key questions. What am I holding on to and why? What does my dream space feel like? What's stopping me from making that happen? Remember, decluttering isn't just about creating a tidy space. It's about creating room for the life you truly want. It's about letting go of what no longer serves you to make space for what does. It's about transformation, empowerment, and living with intention. In Sylvia's words, it's not just about getting rid of stuff, it's about keeping what matters. So what matters to you? What kind of life do you want to create? And how can your space support that vision? As you embark on your own decluttering journey, remember to be patient and kind with yourself. Change doesn't happen overnight, but every small step is progress. Every item you let go of, every space you reclaim is a step towards a clearer, more intentional life. But let's take this a step further. I want to challenge you to think beyond just your physical space. What about the mental clutter, the emotional baggage, the time wasters and energy drainers in your life? What would it look like to declutter those aspects of your life? Imagine a life where your physical space, your mind, and your heart are all aligned with your true purpose and desires. Imagine the clarity, the focus, the sheer joy that could bring. That's the true power of decluttering. It's not just about creating space in your home, it's about creating space in your life for what truly matters. So here's my call to action for you. Start your decluttering journey today. Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Start small if you need to, but start. And as you do, remember that you're not just organizing your stuff, you're reorganizing your life. You're making room for your dreams, your goals, your true self to emerge. And who knows, you might just find that in the process of letting go of what you don't need, you discover exactly what you've been looking for all along. Your decluttered space might just become the launching pad for the life you've always dreamed of living. So go ahead, open that cluttered drawer, face that messy closet, tackle that overflowing inbox. Your future self will thank you. And remember, in the words of Sylvia Holloway, your space reflects your life. What reflection do you want to see? Thank you for joining me on this journey of discovery. Now go forth and declutter your way to a more intentional, more joyful, more authentic life. The power is in your hands. Let's make some space for magic to happen.